low center of gravity. Not bad. So, after a couple tweaks, definitely... Alright people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today I'm looking at the Bandai SprüKits Level 2 Arkham City Batman. Before I get into that though, on my video review of the Master Chief here, I said his hips look kind of weird because they look kind of disjointed. And the very first comment on the video told me, hey, you don't have them pushed in all the way. So I pushed them in until they popped. Everything looks good now. It looks like armor plates over a leg now instead of, you know, sticking out and having a peg and that kind of thing. So much better. He also told me that the holster top thing, it clips right there. If that's backwards to you, you can take this, flip it around. There's a peg on the other side too. So it just pegs right in. Get in there. There you go. Master Chief. Anyway, I'm looking at Batman. I think because of my experience with Master Chief already, it didn't take near as long to put Batman together. Not because it's easier, it's about the same amount of parts. It's just I had a little experience. I knew how the instructions went, I knew how some of the pieces worked, and it only took about 35-40 minutes instead of the hour 10 minutes that Master Chief took. There's a couple of differences. The arms are set up a little bit different. You had to peg through the bicep. On Batman, the bicep plugs down. So he still comes off a little bit. But it doesn't fall off, and if it does, you know, if it starts getting like that, you just push it back up. All good. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, I don't like this. I can understand the reasoning. I mean, it stays out of the way. It's just, it just doesn't look good. Did such a good job with the shoulders. You know, they hinge up, the cape gets out of the way. Having the paper cape in the back, if that's paper, some kind of plastic, very thin. Really, the only other thing that bugs me is the eyes are just black. Looks like he has his eyes closed. I can fix that easily. That's not a biggie. Otherwise, besides those two things, this is probably one of the better Batmans I have. Smaller scale anyway, you know what I mean? It's a fantastic figure. Articulation, sculpt. I miss the ab crunch, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you're piecing this together yourself. That would probably add quite a few more pieces to the kit. Articulation-wise, his neck is kind of a double joint. It has a peg on top, or a ball on top, that's on a hinge. And then the neck itself hinges. Cock forward, down, you get a pretty good range of down. Kick it back, kick that back, and you get pretty much looking straight up. Well, better than a lot of figures out there, you know what I mean? You get some slight side-to-side rotation. The cape over the shoulders are on hinges, so it doesn't, you can't get straight up with the arms, but you can get up higher than if you had, you know, if this was all one molded piece. It makes it look good in, you know, just standing pose, and then in action poses that these come up. The shoulders have a butterfly joint. Hinges out. Then it's on a ball inside that butterfly joint, and then there's a hinge in the shoulder. You can get quite a bit of range. And then up and down. Then there's a bicep swivel. It's a double elbow you get 45 degrees over. You have kind of a ball wrist. It gets some up and down, and then some rotation. This one's a lot tighter than Master Chief, but you get the idea. It's a fist. Torso's on a ball. You get side to side, back, forward. The legs are kind of awesome. The more I play with it, the more I realize that I kind of like these for, you know, I would like these on my other action figures. Let's call it a swivel hinge swivel. It's a ball top joint. You get forward and back, swivel at the thigh, and then ball top action. But in neutral position, you can't tell there's anything there, but you can shift this down, and then you get all kinds of range of movement. You can shift down, kick up, and then, you know, if you're tired of that, you just want them standing on the shelf, you just shift it right back up in there, and it looks, you know, clean. Nice silhouette. Yeah, I'd kind of like those. The knees are double, but you get kind of a flat spot. It's not terrible, but because he can reach, you know, he can kick his own ass. The feet, or ankles, are kind of a hinge. Kind of a hinge. It's actually a hinge. And then a ball on the end that the foot goes into. So you get some range of movement there. You get some rocker action. And then you get back, forward. Like with the legs, the shoulders kind of work that way too. You can shift up for a, you know, vanilla pose, or you can shift down and get more range of movement. Butterfly it out. You can pretty much hit his own face. Blocking maneuver, that kind of thing. Bring it back, shift it back up, in. See how low you can get this shoulder compared to this shoulder? You can get just more range of movement. Then shift it back up. So that's kind of nifty. Putting it together, it was pretty fun. I didn't hit as many, you know, I didn't stumble as much as I did on Master Chief. Like I said, a little more experience. I'm not a master builder or anything, but everything on him is a separate piece. The face plate here came in its own little sprue. The bat logo was actually a separate piece that you plug into the chest because of no paint, you know. Each one's molded in its right color. No paint, no rub, no nothing. Now he does come with, and here's the other thing I like better than Master Chief. He comes with grippy hands, but they're not two pieces. You just slide what you're wanting into the hand. But they threw a curveball in the fists were two pieces. But once you snap those together, you never have to take them apart. So there's no fiddling with little itty bitty parts to try to get him to hold something. You just plug in the other hand, and he's holding it. Not bad at all. The Batarang, you're not going to have it flying around. It comes with a handle on it, a flat spot right here, so the hand grips it pretty well. The other accessory is his Grapple Gun. I guess it is. It looks like a hairdryer. And it doesn't look bad. It's kind of flat, and you can't really get him to aim it straight. It's got the angle that the gun has, so you have to kind of shoot it from the hip. He can definitely look up. He comes with another grip hand for the left side, and then he comes with an open palm for the left side. And it's okay, it just looks a bit large. You know, I don't know, there's something about it. The fingers are long, the hand's big, something. Because it doesn't look like this open. It just looks huge. But I'm a fist kind of guy, so the fists will stay in. And it's just it's a good smaller Batman figure. For 20 bucks you can't lose. I mean, yeah, the cape is distractingly annoying, but surely there's more options out there to stick up under here. You don't need the neck piece, the cowl, the shoulders, that kind of thing. You just need something hanging behind him. I'm going to be looking for that. And then, you know, a couple of drops of white. You have the eyes. I know Arkham City has the pupils and all that kind of thing. Don't care. It's Batman. I'm going to have wide eyes on him. The armored pieces, I mean, you can just pose him. He just looks badass in most poses. I mean, you shift the legs down. You go for a kicking pose. Lightweight, tight joints. He stays in most poses that you want him in. Not a biggie. Now, if you don't shift the legs up, it looks kind of weird. So you have to shift those back into position. He does come with a stand. It's got the molded foot thing again. But it doesn't seem to work as well on Batman. He kind of pops it off. Even the bottom of the boots were a separate piece from the foot, so you had to piece those together. There's no, like Master Chief has the heel and the toe that went onto the foot, so it kind of squeezes into the base mold. But with Batman, he kind of squeezes himself out. There's a force that you can get him down into it, and sometimes he stays, and sometimes he just slowly pops out of it. There's a spring action to it. But you don't really need the stand unless you're going to get crazy. Most of the time he just stands right up. Like I said, tight joints, he's lightweight, he's got a good base. After a couple of tweaks, definitely a Batman for your smaller scale shelf. I think he's about 5 inches. I don't have any other scale figures. I can't give you a scale comparison. I don't have any other figures of this size, except for Master Chief. I think Master Chief is probably supposed to be much taller than Batman, from what I've read. Not a Halo guy. He was fun to build. Like I said, it's quicker as you go, you know, the more you do. Of course, this is a level 2 model kit. I can't imagine level 3. I think those are 8-inch and probably a little more involved. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think of the cape, and I'll see you on the Fwoosh.